If you want a better 2026, stop pretending that time alone will fix what discipline never did. Years don't repair weak thinking. Years only expose it. Most people don't enter a new year with a new mindset. They enter it with the same internal habits and expect a different outcome. That expectation is the root of disappointment. A year doesn't change your direction. Your decisions do. And decisions are not made once a year. They are made daily, under pressure, when no one is watching. The real question is not what you want from 2026. The real question is what version of yourself you are bringing into it. Because whatever version you carry forward will control how you respond to stress, delay, rejection, silence, and uncertainty. A better year does not start with hope. Hope is passive. A better year starts with clarity, and clarity is uncomfortable because it forces honesty. You must be honest about how you currently think, not how you think on good days, not how you think when things are easy, but how you think when plans fail, when progress is slow, when effort goes unnoticed. That thinking decides everything. Most people collapse mentally long before they fail practically. Their energy leaks through overthinking, emotional reactions, and unnecessary resistance to reality. If you want a better 2026, your first responsibility is not action. It is mental order. A disordered mind produces scattered effort. Scattered effort produces average results. Look at your patterns carefully. Do you react immediately, or do you pause before responding? Do you exaggerate problems, or do you analyze them? Do you escape discomfort, or do you stay present inside it? These are not personality traits. These are trained behaviors, and anything trained can be retrained. But retraining requires one thing most people avoid: sustained discomfort without emotional reward. Growth is boring before it is visible. That is why most people quit. They mistake boredom for failure. They mistake silence for stagnation. In reality, silence is where structure is built. A better 2026 requires structure, not motivation, not excitement. Structure. Structure in how you think. Structure in how you respond. Structure in how you spend your energy. Without structure, ambition turns into anxiety. You start many things but finish nothing. You consume more than you produce. You plan more than you execute. That cycle feels productive but produces no real change. If you recognize yourself here, this is not an insult. It is a checkpoint. The strongest people are not those who feel confident all the time. They are those who have trained their mind to stay functional even when confidence disappears. Confidence is a byproduct. Competence comes first, and competence is built through repetition under resistance. A better 2026 demands that you stop romanticizing potential and start respecting execution. Potential is cheap. Discipline is rare. You don't need to discover yourself. You need to decide yourself. Decision ends confusion. Confusion drains energy. Right now, many people are mentally exhausted not because they do too much, but because they keep debating with themselves. Should I do this? Should I stop that? What if it fails? What if people judge? That internal noise consumes more energy than action ever will. A clear decision, even a difficult one, immediately reduces mental fatigue. If you want a better 2026, simplify your internal dialogue. Less negotiation, more execution. Another hard truth: your environment is shaping you more than your intentions. If your environment constantly distracts you, your focus will never stabilize. If your environment normalizes excuses, discipline will feel extreme. This is not about willpower. This is about design. Strong people don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems that remove unnecessary choices. They reduce friction for good habits and increase friction for bad ones. That is intelligence, not rigidity. A better 2026 requires that you stop testing yourself unnecessarily. Stop proving how strong you are by staying around weakness. Stop proving discipline by staying close to distraction. Distance is not avoidance. Distance is strategy. You cannot build clarity in a chaotic environment. Now understand this deeply. Emotional control is not suppression. It is regulation. Reacting emotionally does not make you honest. It makes you predictable. Life does not reward emotional intensity. It rewards stability. When you remain stable, you see options others miss. A better year is built by people who can stay calm while thinking clearly under pressure. Calm is not softness. Calm is control. Most people lose opportunities not because they lack talent, but because they panic when uncertainty appears. They rush decisions. They over-explain. They chase validation. All signs of internal instability. Stability gives you leverage. If you want a better 2026, train yourself to delay reaction. Pause before speaking. Pause before responding. Pause before quitting. That pause is where power lives, not in speed, in precision. Let's talk about standards. Your standards are revealed by what you tolerate repeatedly. If you tolerate disrespect, chaos, inconsistency, and distraction, your life will reflect that tolerance. Raising standards does not mean demanding more from others. It means accepting less from yourself. This is where maturity begins. A mature person does not need constant motivation. They operate from principle. Principles don't change with mood. Mood-based living produces unstable years. A better 2026 requires principle-based living. Decide who you are willing to be when things are inconvenient, because inconvenience is guaranteed. The question is not whether challenges will appear. The question is whether your internal system can handle them without collapsing. Right now, your life is training you for your future. The only question is what it is training you to become: reactive or responsive, disciplined or distracted, clear or confused. Training happens daily, whether you are aware of it or not. Awareness allows correction. If you want a better 2026, start correcting early. Not loudly, not publicly, quietly. Quiet discipline compounds faster than loud ambition. People will not notice your preparation. They will only notice the results later. That is how it should be. A strong year is not built for approval. It is built for alignment. Alignment between thought, action, and values. When alignment exists, effort feels lighter. Not easy, lighter. Because resistance inside disappears. That internal resistance is what drains most people. They fight themselves more than they fight reality. And that war. Choose clarity over chaos. Structure over impulse. Standards over comfort. A better 2026 is not waiting for you. It is responding to how you prepare right now. Success in 2026 will not be decided by plans. Plans are useless if your mind is unsettled. The real challenge begins where comfort ends. Most people fail because they underestimate the influence of their internal state. It is not the tasks themselves that break people. It is the way they respond to challenges, the inner dialogue they allow, and the patterns they repeat. Your mind is already rehearsing the year ahead. Every thought is training you, whether you are aware of it or not. Every reaction, every hesitation, every indulgence in excuses strengthens habits that will either empower or imprison you. Discipline is not about resisting pleasure. It is about refusing what weakens your future. Every action that strengthens you internally will feel uncomfortable in the moment. People often say they want change, but they keep indulging the very things that maintain stagnation. They allow fear, distraction, and delayed decisions to dictate their trajectory. This is the invisible sabotage that destroys 2026 before it even begins. Look closely at your internal dialogue. What you tolerate in thought, you eventually tolerate in action. Complaints, blame, overthinking, self-doubt, these are not harmless. They are compound interest against progress. The first step to a stronger year is observing yourself without judgment. Understand the patterns you fall into when nothing external forces you to act, because that is when weakness flourishes. Notice how often you justify your comfort. How often you say, "It's fine, I'll start tomorrow," or "I've done enough today." These are the small concessions that accumulate into years of mediocrity. Strength is not built in moments of excitement. It is built in the quiet decisions no one sees. Refusing unnecessary distractions, completing work without recognition, maintaining standards even when no one enforces them. Most people confuse intensity with progress. They measure action by noise, effort by visibility. But the world responds to consistency and clarity. Noise attracts attention, but clarity produces results. If you want a better 2026, you must stop negotiating with your weaknesses. Stop allowing hesitation, procrastination, and scattered energy to define your day. Decide firmly and act deliberately. Observe how you handle resistance. Do you retreat or adapt? Do you panic when outcomes are delayed? Your reaction under resistance will dictate the results you experience. Many people are mentally exhausted before they attempt their work because their mind is in constant conflict. They debate every decision internally, worry excessively about outcomes, and rehearse failure before attempting success. This mental friction consumes more energy than any task itself. The solution is not motivation. Motivation is fleeting. The solution is structure and thought. Structure in how you analyze, how you respond, and how you execute under pressure. Internal control is not suppression. It is management. Management of attention, reaction, and priorities. Unmanaged thought leads to chaos. Managed thought leads to decisive action. Notice the people around you. Your environment either reinforces clarity or feeds distraction. Energy is contagious. Habit is contagious. If you surround yourself with indecision and low standards, your discipline erodes naturally. To build a better 2026, adjust the external to support the internal. Remove the easy paths that encourage weakness. Design your environment so your best actions are the natural choice. Self-respect is the currency of lasting change. It is not vanity. It is the consistent execution of standards regardless of external validation. Self-respect forces your mind to act, even when resistance appears. Observe your tolerances. What you accept quietly in thought and life is what shapes your future. Tolerating inconsistency, drama, or disrespect in small doses compounds into a year of mediocrity. Commit to operating on principle. Principles do not fluctuate with mood or circumstance. Operating on principle stabilizes your mind, clarifies decision-making, and directs energy toward productive outcomes. Every action, every decision, every hesitation compounds. If you are scattered mentally, the results will be scattered. If you are disciplined mentally, the results will be inevitable. Fear is unavoidable. Delay is unavoidable. Discomfort is unavoidable. But how you confront these internal forces determines the trajectory of your year. The world will not provide shortcuts. The calendar will not grant extra strength. You must build it internally. Your resilience, clarity, and control are your only leverage. Your mind is like a field. Left unattended, weeds grow. Left untended, strength weakens. Every distraction, every indulgence, every negative thought is fertilizer for weakness. Decide what will thrive. Remove everything else. That is the preparation for 2026. Every distraction you eliminate, every mental concession you refuse, every small act of internal alignment compounds into a momentum that carries your year. Do not mistake this work for temporary effort. This is long-term architecture. Build it today, and the year responds naturally. Control over yourself is non-negotiable. Your attention, your choices, your internal dialogue. These are the pillars on which 2026 will rest. The weak negotiate with excuses. The disciplined negotiate with reality. One leads to stagnation. The other leads to growth. Every step you take internally determines the steps you can take externally. Every concession internally limits your capacity externally. A better 2026 will not be the product of chance. It will be the product of deliberate internal mastery. People wait for the year to grant them opportunity. You prepare so opportunity finds you ready. Discipline is invisible. Results are visible. The invisible work compounds quietly. The visible results are inevitable. Internal conflict is the silent destroyer of potential. Remove it, and your clarity becomes your weapon. Most people fail because they fight themselves more than they fight reality. Your internal alignment is the ultimate leverage. Consistency beats intensity. Discipline beats bursts of motivation. Principle beats preference. These truths will define your year far more than any plan ever could. Your energy is finite. Where you place it determines your trajectory. Wasted in unnecessary debate, internal drama, and reaction, and you will experience mediocrity. Invest it in focused internal control, and the results will follow automatically. Your thoughts are not neutral. Every repeated thought, every concession, every habit of mind is a vote for the kind of year you will have. This is why internal mastery is non-negotiable. No calendar, no inspiration, no motivational speech will replace it. You either control your mind, or it controls your life. Preparation begins now. Not when the year changes, not when conditions feel right. Now, quietly, relentlessly, with absolute clarity about what you will tolerate and what you will refuse. A better 2026 will not come to those who wait. It will come to those who act consistently with their internal principles. Planning is meaningless without execution. Execution is meaningless without internal control. Internal control is meaningless without clarity of purpose. These three elements together form the foundation of a powerful year. Most people enter a new year chasing outcomes, promotions, recognition, wealth, success. But outcomes are effects. The cause is always internal. The thoughts you allow, the standards you maintain, and the actions you take when no one is watching, these dictate everything. If you want tangible results, start with your internal framework. Your mind is the only environment you cannot escape. Everything else is temporary. Stop underestimating the power of small daily actions. Every decision to maintain focus, every refusal of distraction, every action aligned with principle compounds over time. The sum of these daily victories will define your year far more than a single dramatic moment. Most people fail because they expect momentum to appear before action. Momentum is a product of disciplined repetition, not inspiration. Ask yourself, how often do you allow small deviations to accumulate unnoticed? How often do minor excuses compound into habitual avoidance? These are the hidden traps that steal progress silently. A better 2026 requires ruthless attention to detail in your own life, not external perfection. Internal alignment. Are your thoughts, words, and actions pointing in the same direction consistently? If not, correct it immediately. Energy is finite. Where you place it determines the speed and quality of your growth. Wasted energy on unimportant distractions creates friction, slows progress, and depletes willpower. Notice how often you justify low-value behavior. It won't matter. I'll do it later. I don't feel ready. These statements are small concessions that erode integrity and delay results. Consistency beats intensity. Precision beats impulsiveness. Principle beats preference. This is not theory. This is reality. Those who master these fundamentals will see 2026 unfold in their favor. Most people are unprepared because they confuse busyness with productivity. Busyness creates the illusion of progress, but it rarely changes outcomes. Real productivity emerges from focus, prioritization, and disciplined execution. Every action should serve a purpose. Every distraction removed is a gain. Every moment spent in clarity compounds into results that appear effortless to the untrained eye. Execution is simple in concept but extremely difficult in practice. The difficulty is not external, it is internal. Your resistance, hesitation, and untrained mental habits make even simple tasks heavy. This is why most people fail before they truly begin. They fight themselves more than they fight reality. Strength is built when you confront your own mental resistance and act anyway. Observe how you handle delayed results. Do you panic, complain, or abandon focus? Or do you persist, refine, and continue quietly? The ability to persist under unseen pressure separates those who achieve from those who do not. Your standards dictate your limits. What you tolerate internally becomes your external reality. Every compromise weakens your trajectory. Every maintained standard strengthens it. A better 2026 requires a zero-tolerance policy for repeated internal concessions. Stop negotiating with weakness, indecision, or distraction. Stand firm internally, and the external world will align. Understand the compounding effect of your habits. One small daily improvement may feel insignificant, but repeated consistently, it becomes unstoppable momentum. Most people ignore this because results are slow to appear. They look for instant gratification or dramatic changes. but life responds to consistency, not spectacle. Your thoughts are the seeds. Your actions are the water. Your environment is the sunlight. Neglect any one, and growth slows. Maintain all three, and progress becomes inevitable. Time is the ultimate test. Those who wait for perfect conditions fail repeatedly. Those who act decisively within imperfect circumstances dominate their year. A better 2026 will test your patience, your integrity, and your clarity repeatedly. Each challenge is an opportunity to demonstrate internal mastery. Every time you respond according to principle rather than impulse, you invest in a stronger year. Discipline is not punishment. It is respect for the future you intend to create. Every choice aligned with long-term vision is a deposit into your account of results. Every deviation is a withdrawal. Execution is a mirror. Look at your daily actions. Do they reflect the future you claim to want? If not, change immediately. Fear and discomfort are constants. They will appear in abundance. What separates those who achieve from those who stagnate is not fearlessness, but consistent action in the presence of fear. Do not wait to feel ready. Feeling ready is a luxury for those who are content with mediocrity. The prepared act before feeling ready. They use discomfort as leverage, not as an excuse. A better 2026 will reward those who master internal conflict. Internal conflict is the silent enemy of results. Resolve it. Do not indulge it. Act with clarity despite it. Every day that passes is a test. What you allow internally is what you reinforce externally. Standards, focus, and disciplined execution are the only factors you control. Everything else is response. Your attention is currency. How you spend it determines the speed of growth. Distractions, gossip, overthinking, unnecessary debates, these are invisible taxes on your results. Stop overanalyzing minor issues. Stop indulging internal drama. Stop negotiating with weakness. Instead, act decisively according to principle. Internal mastery is non-negotiable. If your mind is misaligned, your life will follow. Clarity, discipline, and execution must lead every action. Every action counts. Every moment counts. Every decision compounds. 2026 will be defined not by chance, but by the invisible internal work you perform consistently now. Your next year will reflect the quality of the choices you make today. Every habit, every decision, every small action compounds silently, building either momentum toward growth or inertia toward stagnation. Most people enter a new year hoping circumstances will change, waiting for motivation to appear, or trusting inspiration to push them forward. That is illusion. Results do not arrive from wishful thinking. They are created through deliberate, consistent action. Execution is the bridge between knowledge and transformation. Knowing what to do is meaningless if the mind hesitates, doubts, or succumbs to distraction. The person who executes consistently, even imperfectly, will always surpass the one who plans endlessly without action. Observe your daily routines. Are they aligned with the year you intend to create, or are they reinforcing comfort and mediocrity? Every repeated small action, whether productive or wasted, compounds silently. Discipline is not about punishment or restriction. It is about aligning daily behavior with the future you demand. Making your bed, completing tasks without delay, resisting trivial distractions, these are not minor efforts. They are training grounds for mental strength, resilience, and consistency. Internal resistance is the invisible enemy. It manifests as hesitation, overthinking, fear, or justification. Each act of decisive action against it strengthens your internal control and conditions your mind for greater challenges. Clarity of thought is non-negotiable. Every day, evaluate your priorities, eliminate distractions, and focus attention on what truly matters. Your time and energy are finite. Misaligned energy ensures slow progress, frustration, and stagnation. A better 2026 will require removing friction in areas that produce results, and adding friction where weakness tends to thrive. Limit unnecessary distractions. Increase accountability. Remove shortcuts that allow indulgence and comfort. Internal mastery is a combination of action and elimination. Removing toxic habits, negative influences, and unnecessary indulgences is as important as executing deliberate, focused actions. Together, they form the foundation of a powerful year. Most people operate under scattered attention, reacting to every notification, message, or irrelevant task. This mental chaos silently erodes potential. Your focus is your most powerful tool. Protect it rigorously. Negotiate with nothing internally. Stop debating with fear, hesitation, or comfort. Decide firmly what must be done, and act without delay. Most victories are claimed in these unseen internal battles. Consistency is the multiplier of all results. One day of excellence is irrelevant without repeated, aligned action. Your success in 2026 will be determined not by dramatic bursts, but by the compound effect of small, disciplined choices. Observe your response to delays, setbacks, and challenges. Panic, frustration, or overreaction destroys momentum. Calm, deliberate action preserves it. Strength is forged by persistence under pressure. Your environment either reinforces focus or encourages distraction. Surround yourself with people, habits, and systems that support clarity and standards. Remove anything that consistently undermines mental alignment. Self-respect is internal currency. Do what you say you will do without seeking recognition or approval. Internal integrity is the foundation of consistent results. Every choice aligned with principle compounds into leverage. Every concession compounds into weakness. The sum of repeated invisible actions determines the visible results at the end of the year. Fear and hesitation will always appear. The difference between stagnation and growth is action in the presence of discomfort, hesitation, or uncertainty. Stop waiting to feel ready. Readiness is a trap for those who are content with mediocrity. The prepared act despite discomfort. They use fear as leverage, not as an excuse. Internal conflict is silent but powerful. It shows up as self-doubt, mental debate, and distraction. Each decisive action reduces internal friction and strengthens momentum. Your habits are architecture. Your attention is currency. Your environment is leverage. Align all three deliberately. Misalignment guarantees friction and lost potential. Alignment guarantees unstoppable progress. A better 2026 will not be built on motivation. Motivation fluctuates. Internal mastery and execution are constant. You cannot negotiate with results. You must earn them consistently, silently, and deliberately. Every day is a test of alignment. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to either dominance or mediocrity. Discipline silently multiplies results. Weakness silently erodes potential. Observe energy wasted on indecision, distraction, and mental debate. Each second spent there is a lost opportunity to reinforce focus, execute action, and build momentum. Stop prioritizing convenience over principle. Comfort is the enemy of a strong year. Principle, repeated daily, produces unstoppable force. Execution without internal alignment is wasted effort. Alignment without execution is wasted potential. Both are required. Practice consistently. Evaluate every concession. Identify weakness, hesitation, or distraction. Eliminate it immediately. Replace delay with decisive action. Replace distraction with focus. Your internal framework dictates your trajectory. Every repeated choice compounds toward growth or mediocrity. There is no neutral. Preparation is now, not tomorrow. Not when motivation arrives. Not when conditions feel ideal. Now, relentless, principled, and disciplined action defines your year. Energy allocation is critical. Focus on high-value areas. Remove friction in productive zones. Each disciplined act amplifies momentum exponentially. Internal mastery is non-negotiable. External circumstances, recognition, or inspiration cannot replace it. Strong internal command ensures your year unfolds as intended. Consistency is unstoppable. Alignment is invincible. Daily disciplined action is leverage. This is how 2026 becomes deliberate, controlled, and powerful. Do not underestimate invisible work. Silent, repeated effort produces visible results that seem effortless to outsiders. Habits, focus, attention, and standards define trajectory. neglect them, and the year passes unnoticed. Master them, and dominance is inevitable. Every decision, however small, is a building block. Every compromise is a crack in the foundation. Build deliberately, remove weakness ruthlessly. Results follow. Strength forms internally before manifesting externally. Mental alignment, principled execution, and disciplined focus compound into a year of mastery. External chaos cannot replace internal structure. Challenges, distractions, and unexpected events will appear. Internal alignment ensures correct responses under pressure. Attention is sacred. Energy is limited. Waste neither on internal chaos or low-value distractions. Each active focus strengthens leverage for the year. Repeated principled choices compound momentum. Repeated compromises compound weakness. This is the invisible architecture of 2026. Preparation, execution, and alignment are non-negotiable. Start now. Build silently. Act decisively. The year reflects the mastery you apply consistently day after day. Time will not wait. Outcomes will not forgive delay. Only those disciplined, focused, and principled will achieve exponential results. Your next year will not change because of luck, hope, or intention alone. It will change because of decisive, consistent action aligned with clarity, purpose, and principle. Most people prepare superficially, focusing on goals without evaluating the foundation beneath them. Goals without internal alignment are fragile. They collapse under stress, distraction, or delay. Internal mastery precedes external achievement. Your habits, focus, attention, and response patterns determine whether 2026 will be productive or wasted. Stop allowing small concessions to define your trajectory. Every hesitation, every delay, every compromise compounds. The sum of invisible choices dictates the visible results of your year. Execution is not about occasional bursts of intensity. It is about consistent alignment with principles and disciplined action every day, regardless of mood, comfort, or external validation. Observe where you waste energy. Excessive thinking, distractions, social obligations, unproductive debates, all silently erode progress. Energy invested in clarity, focus, and execution compounds into unstoppable momentum. Fear, doubt, and hesitation are inevitable. They appear daily. The difference between stagnation and growth is acting despite their presence. Every time you act decisively under discomfort, internal strength compounds. Accountability is internal. No one else can enforce your discipline or integrity. The only leverage that matters is the one you maintain over yourself. Daily compliance with your standards builds dominance. A better 2026 is built on action, not planning. Planning creates direction, but action creates results. The mind must be conditioned to act decisively, repeatedly, and without negotiation. Small actions matter more than grand gestures. Completing minor tasks promptly, focusing on one priority at a time, and eliminating distractions silently build momentum that overtakes inconsistent bursts of effort. Internal clarity must guide every decision. Misaligned action, no matter how well-intentioned, slows growth. Pause to evaluate alignment before acting. Act immediately when aligned. The compounding effect of habits is invisible yet inevitable. Each repeated decision, each daily discipline, each refusal of distraction, these accumulate into results far beyond immediate perception. Time is the ultimate amplifier. Every day wasted or mismanaged magnifies over the months. Every day leveraged with focus and execution compounds into remarkable outcomes. Observe your tolerance for internal weakness. Every concession tolerated silently trains your mind to accept mediocrity. Every principled choice strengthens your mental framework and builds the year you intend. Discipline is not punishment. It is respect for the person you intend to become. Every aligned action is a deposit into the account of your future success. Every avoided action is a withdrawal. Momentum is invisible. It appears in the form of effortless progress months later, created by repeated invisible choices today. Most people never notice it until it's too late. Clarity, focus, and execution form a triad. Missing any one diminishes the outcome. All three combined produce results that seem effortless externally, but are forged internally through relentless invisible work. External circumstances will never be perfectly aligned. Challenges, distractions, delays, and failures are guaranteed. Your ability to maintain internal alignment under pressure defines your year. The prepared act decisively regardless of external comfort. Waiting for ideal conditions guarantees stagnation. Acting despite discomfort compounds resilience, skill, and leverage. Every repeated principled choice strengthens internal control. Every repeated compromise erodes it. The invisible choices of today define the visible reality of your year. Focus is currency. Attention is leverage. Energy is finite. Allocate them deliberately toward high-value actions. Remove everything that distracts, dilutes, or drains. Internal alignment is non-negotiable. Without it, execution loses force. Without execution, clarity is meaningless. Both are required. Both must be practiced daily. Observe hesitation. Identify where doubt influences behavior. Act immediately when principles align. Hesitation compounds weakness. Action compounds strength. Your environment either supports or hinders internal mastery. Surround yourself with clarity, focus, and high standards. Remove influences that consistently encourage mediocrity. Self-respect is internal leverage. Do what you commit to doing regardless of recognition or applause. Internal integrity is the foundation upon which external results are built. Every choice, no matter how small, is a building block. Every compromise, no matter how subtle, is a crack in the foundation. Build deliberately, remove weakness ruthlessly, and results will follow. Strength emerges internally first. Mental alignment, disciplined focus, and principled action compound invisibly into results that eventually manifest externally. Energy allocation determines quality of outcomes. Focus energy on high-impact areas. Reduce friction in productive zones. Eliminate distractions silently but consistently. Preparation begins now, not tomorrow, not when conditions feel ideal, not when motivation arrives. Immediate, principled, and consistent action determines the trajectory of your year. Execution without internal alignment is wasted effort. Alignment without execution is wasted potential. Only their combination produces unstoppable results. Momentum is built silently, daily, and repeatedly. Every minor act of discipline compounds into outcomes that appear effortless to outsiders, but are forged through relentless invisible work. Internal mastery is non-negotiable. External conditions, recognition, or inspiration cannot replace it. Strong internal command ensures your year unfolds as intended. Discipline, clarity, and execution are unstoppable forces when combined. They convert small, invisible actions into exponential results over time. Time is relentless. It will not pause. Outcomes will not wait. Only those disciplined, focused, and principled will experience the compounded benefits of consistent action. Now, it is your choice. Either you allow the year to unfold according to habit, distraction, and external chaos, or you seize control of every day with ruthless precision. Every decision you make, every action you repeat, every principle you enforce is a declaration of power. This is not preparation for the year, it is the year, lived in real time through disciplined action. No longer wait for external validation. No longer defer strength, focus, or execution. Internal mastery is the only leverage that guarantees results, and every day is the field where it is earned. The invisible work, repeated silently, builds a force that is unstoppable. Momentum compounds, clarity sharpens, and your trajectory accelerates with every principled choice. This is your framework for dominance. Clarity of purpose, every day, in every decision. Consistency in execution, regardless of comfort or circumstance. Control of focus, energy, and attention, with zero tolerance for distraction. Courage to act despite fear, hesitation, or delay. When the year ends, it will not reflect intention, hope, or luck. It will reflect invisible, relentless Principled action, the strength of your daily choices. Step into 2026 not as a passenger, but as a commander of your own life. Seize each day with discipline, focus, and unyielding alignment. Let your results be undeniable. Let your progress be inevitable. The year will bend to the power of your invisible mastery, the weight of your daily execution, and the relentlessness of your aligned action. Those who refuse to compromise, hesitate, or delay will claim it entirely. This is not motivation. It is not advice. It is the architecture of reality. Your 2026 will be built on the choices you enforce with precision, the actions you repeat with consistency, and the principles you refuse to betray. Now, take control. Eliminate hesitation. Demand discipline. Prioritize execution. Protect your energy. Build your momentum. Dominate your attention. This is the only path to a better 2026. Your discipline today builds the power you command tomorrow. Your focus today shapes the victories you claim tomorrow. Stand unshakable, act relentless, and let 2026 bend entirely to the will of your unwavering action.